पतित पावना तुम्हा भिनके हो নাই, যাহার নিকটে গেলে পাপ দূরে যায়, যাহার নিকটে গেলে পাপ দূরে যায়। এ মন দয়াল প্রভু কেব কোথা পায়, এ মন দয়াল প্রভু কেব কোথা পায়, গঙ্গার পরশায় পাশ্চাতে পাবন, গঙ্গার পরশা হইলে পাশ্চাতে পাবন, দর্শনে পবিত্র করো এই তোমার গুণ, দর্শনে পবিত্র করো এই তোমার গুণ, হরিস্থানে অপরাধে তারে হরি নাম, তোমা স্থানে অপরাধে নাহি পরিত্রাণ, তোমা স্থানে অপরাধে নাহি পরিত্রাণ, তোমারা হৃদয়ে সদা গোবিন্দ বিশ্রাম, তোমারা হৃদয়ে সদা গোবিন্দ বিশ্রাম, গোবিন্দ কহে না মোরা বৈষ্ণব পরাণ, গোবিন্দ কহে না মোরা বৈষ্ণব পরাণ, প্রতি জন্মে করিয়াস চরণের ধূলি, প্রতি জন্মে করিয়াস চরণের ধূলি, নরোত্তমে করো দয়া আপনার বলি, নরোত্তমে করো দয়া আপনার বলি, এবার করুণা করো বৈষ্ণব ঘোষায়, পতিত পাবন তোমা বিনে কেহ নাই, জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর, জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর, জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর, জয় বৈষ্ণব ঠাকুর, জয় প্রভুপাদা, জয় প্রভুপাদা, জয় প্রভুপাদা, জয় প্রভুপাদা, নিতাই গৌর হরি বল, হরি বল, হরি বল, নিতাই গৌর হরি বল। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, समावेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, गौन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity today, especially in this month of Kartik, Damodar month, to be speaking on Srimad Bhagavatam for the Kanyadesh devotees. I've been given to speak on the first canto, 9th chapter, 47th verse. This chapter is about the passing away of Bhishma Deva in the presence of Lord Krishna. So before I begin the class, let me offer my respectful obeisances to the Vaishnava Acharyas. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्विदं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्विदांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भानुस्वामिनिति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताकस्वामिनिति नामिने नमो याचार्यपादाय निताय कृपप्रदायिने गौरगता दामोदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पश्चात देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यम् ईश्वरं हरिः ओं तत्सत् जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय समावेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय भुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हरे कृष्णा. So today we are going to be looking at from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter, 47th verse. This is the most beautiful description of the passing away of Bhishma Deva, one of the greatest devotees of the Supreme Lord, one of the Mahajanas. And we are almost at the end of this chapter where the whole conversation is happening between Bhishma Dev, the Pandavas, and especially the passing away of Bhishma Deva in the presence of the Lord. We all know that Bhishma Deva had this most wonderful benediction upon him from his father, that he could pass away at his own will. And what more could be a better opportunity for him to be choosing a time when the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present just right before him, that he was able to give up his body from this mortal world in the presence of the Lord and the presence of all the great sages and the most wonderful family members. Hare Krishna. So let's get into the sloka. Tushtur munayor hrishtaha krishnam tadguhya namavihi tataste krishna hridayah swashraman prayayuhu punaha तुष्टुवुर् मुनयोर् हृष्टाः कृष्णं तद्गुह्य नामभिः ततस्ते कृष्ण हृदयाः स्वाश्रमान् प्रययुः पुनः. Word meaning, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tushtuvuhu, satisfied, Munayaha, the great sages, headed by Vyasadeva, etc., Hrishtaha, all in a happy mood, Krishnam, unto Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Tat, his, Guhya, confidential, Namabihi, by his holy name, etc. Tataha, thereafter, te, they, Krishna Hridayaha, persons who always bear Lord Krishna in their hearts. Swa Ashraman, to their respective hermitages. Prayayuhu, returned. Punaha, uh, again. Translation. All the great sages then glorified Lord Sri Krishna, who was present there, by confidential Vedic hymns. Then all of them returned to their respective hermitages, bearing always Lord Krishna within their hearts. Purport. The devotees of the Lord are always in the heart of the Lord, and the Lord is always in the hearts of the devotees. That is the sweet relationship between the Lord and his devotees. Due to unalloyed love and devotion for the Lord, the devotees always see him within themselves. And the Lord also, although he has nothing to do and nothing to aspire to, is always busy in attending to the welfare of his devotees. For the ordinary living beings, the law of nature is there for all actions and reactions, but he is always anxious to put his devotees on the right path. The devotees, therefore, are under the direct care of the Lord. And the Lord also voluntarily puts himself under the care of his devotees only. So, all the sages headed by Vyasadeva were devotees of the Lord, and therefore they chanted the Vedic hymns after the funeral ceremony just to please the Lord who was present there personally. All the Vedic hymns are chanted to please Lord Krishna. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 15:15. Uh, सर्वस्य चाहम हृदि सन्निविष्टो मतस्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहम् एव वेद्यः वेदान्तकृत् वेदवित् एव चाहम्. All the Vedas, Upanishads, Vedanta, etc., are seeking Him only, and all hymns are for glorifying Him only. The sages, therefore, performed the exact acts suitable for the purpose, and they happily departed for their respective hermitages. Hari Om Tat Sat. So this is a very beautiful verse. As I said, this is pretty much in the fag end of the chapter, where the most glorious passing away of Bhishma Dev, and the scene is set where we can see that Krishna was personally present there, and the background of this whole arrangement is a very interesting arrangement. We see that Yudhishthira Maharaj was not very happy that the battle had concluded and they had won. In fact, that they have won and they had got back, Hastinapur. They were supposed to be happy. The Pandavas had been victorious over the Kuru. Generally, the Kuru dynasty means the dynasty of Bhishma Deva and his father as it came along, Shantanu. So we see that that is what was called as Kuru dynasty. However, there was difference of opinion between within the Kuru dynasty between the brothers, which was specifically Dhritarashtra and his brother Pandu. Not when Pandu was alive, but after Pandu had passed away and Dhritarashtra was taking care of the kingdom. And there was a difference of opinion because of his son, Duryodhana, which is very evident throughout the Mahabharata, right? And we see that, when in the Mahabharata, the mention of the Kurus are being mentioned, it is generally referring to the sons of Dhritarashtra and Dhritarashtra, right? However, the Pandavas were separated and they were called as Pandavas while they were also actually Kurus because they came in the same dynasty of Kuru Maharaj, who was in the same lineage, right? That itself shows that how Pandavas were being looked at as out of family, and hence we know that the whole battle of Mahabharat happened, right? Uh, so even though they were being treated so away from the family and they were thrown out of the kingdom and they went to exile for 14 years and then they came back, and even after coming back, when they were not offered what they were duly fair to be offered with, um, and then the arrangement of the whole battle of Mahabharat, and finally winning over the whole battle, which was the greatest battle he ever fought. uh, Still Yudhishthira Maharaj was not very happy, and that shows the most wonderful nature of great devotees. Uh, that even though he had the greatest kingdom back again with him, which apparently they fought for, he was not very happy with that situation. Why? Because he knew, he had a very clear understanding that he got back this kingdom just by killing great personalities who were just family members, who were gurus, who were uncles, family members, very senior family members, great devotees indeed, some of them. And also that his own acharyas, gurus, they were all in the in the opposite side, including Bhishma Deva. So he was not quite happy with that. So at that situation, Krishna was trying to pacify Yudhishthira Maharaj. But then he did not feel that it was very appropriate for him to pacify, and he wanted to choose a better way of pacifying Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, this arrangement of the Pandavas led by Yudhishthira Maharaj and all the great sages, which included, we can see that in this picture, of course, partially we can see some of the sages are there. Great personalities such as Atri, Angri Muni, Vyasadeva himself was there, Narada Muni was there, Sukadev Goswami was there. Many, many great personalities, along with the Pandavas, they were all present there. And most importantly, Krishna brought them all in front of Bhishma Deva. And the very purpose of Krishna bringing the Pandavas, and especially Yudhishthira Maharaj, is because of the fondness of Bhishma Pitama with the five Pandava brothers. And he felt it very appropriate that he wanted to achieve many, many things over this particular incident. One of the main things, of course, being the passing away of Bhishma Deva himself, that he can pass away according to his own desire. And he made that extra facility that not only that he could pass at his own will at the right time, but he himself would be present in front of him. And that shows the greatness of Bhishma Deva, that the supreme personality of Godhead Swayam made himself present right in front of him at that very moment. Krishna says that Antakale chamam eva smaran muktva kalevaram. He says, so at the time of leaving this body, that if you think of me, and when the supreme personality of Godhead is standing right in front of him, what more can you think? And how great a personality that he was. And especially when he was along with the most fond people that he had in his life, that is the Pandavas. So he thought it is very appropriate to bring the auspiciousness of the entire world together, both in terms of familial connection and more importantly, the spiritual connection that Bhishma Deva had with all of these great personalities that were present there. So he felt that it would be better for Bhishma Dev to pacify Yudhishthira Maharaj of the current situation than he himself. Why? Of course, Krishna, was in a better position. He is the supreme personality of Godhead, right? He is in a better position. He was not in the losing side. If he had to pacify, it would not go very strongly deep into the hearts of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yudhishthira Maharaj would understand, oh, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is speaking very high because he is beyond all this material conception. So he would definitely say like that, but he cannot understand the pain that I'm going through because of the familial connection that I had with Bhishma Pitama, such great personalities of Dronacharya and so on and so forth. So it wouldn't go very strongly deep into the heart. So here we understand that how Krishna is being very intelligent, right? Obviously he is the supremely intelligent, and how he is making this opportunity so that he can create the opportunity that Bhishma Dev himself would pacify him. Why? Because Bhishma Dev was in a situation, he was first of all on the losing side. What was his situation? He was resting in the bed of arrows, right? He was in a very, very difficult situation. If he is going to be, for one who is already in a difficult position or has gone through a difficult position, and if he is going to say some words of wisdom, it might be easy for us to accept it because it is much more practical. But if you have to understand something from somebody who is in a better position, oh, why can't you advise? You are in a better position, so your advice, is easy to come. But you better put yourself in my situation, you will be able to understand. And that is the kind of the situation, or even a worse situation, is what Bhishma Deva was in. So he was in a better position to give the advice to Yudhishthira Maharaj. He had the experience, he had the loving connection with the Pandavas, and more importantly, he was one of the greatest devotees. And the most important aspect of this whole arrangement is that Krishna wanted to elevate the position of Bhishma Deva, that my devotees' words are more powerful than my own words. right? And that is the most important. Bhishma Deva would be able to convince, uh, uh, Yudhishthira Maharaj and his brothers much more better than even myself. He wanted to give that position to, his greatest devotee. This shows how Krishna is always wanting to exalt the position of his devotees, even as compared to himself, right? So, with that set in, let's get into some of the aspects that are coming up in this verse and try and discuss this, by the mercy of Shri Prabhupada. So, here in the verse, the word tushtuvuhu is being used, which means satisfied. It says that the sages were very satisfied. uh, where, what is this satisfaction? So we just saw that how, as the Paramatma within Maharaj Yudhishthira's heart, Lord Krishna could have easily pacified him. Krishna wanted him to receive instructions from the dying grandfather Bhishma. Why? In order to spread the fame of his pure devotee. In this way, Bhishma would become known as excelling all others in knowledge, even the Lord himself. So this, nature of the Supreme Lord, how he exalts his devotees, and the whole conversation that happened and the subject matter that was discussed is very, very pleasing to the heart, because these are all subject matters that are being discussed without any envy, right? In the material world, all subject matters that are discussed have some part of envy in them. They have a selfish interest in them. But the subject matter of what the devotees discuss is very pure. It is beyond the three modes of material nature. Traigunna Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdhvando Nitya Sattvasto Niryogakshema Atmavan. That is the nature of the subject matter that is being discussed by the supreme devotees. That they are nirdhvandaha, they are beyond duality of friend and enemy, good and bad. This is something that is good for everyone. Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the whole subject matter that the sages wanted to hear from uh, Sukadev Goswami or from Suta Goswami, that what is good for everybody, which means, there is no distinction between friend and enemy. What is good for all living entities, not even just the human beings. That is the discussion, that is generally the discussion between devotees. So it was very, very satisfying to the heart. Uh, then there are two other very interesting words that are being used. The word Namabihi in the verse refers to the holy names of Krishna and etc. It says here, Tatas te Krishna Hridayaha Krishnam Tadguhya Namabihi. And the prefix that is being used for the name Namabihi is Guhya, means very, very secret, right? Confidential, right? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matter of Krishna is very, very confidential. It is not, what does it mean by confidential? It means that, oh, the subject matter is there. You can read the subject matter and you can understand the subject matter. Well, you can understand the subject matter theoretically. But if you have to understand the practicality of the subject matter in terms of its realization, there is jnana, there is vijnana. Jnana means just to understand it superficially, like licking the outer cover of the honey bottle. What taste can you get? If you have to taste the real honey, you have to open the bottle and try to taste it. Uh, that is what is given by Sukadev Goswami. Uh, he gave this whole subject matter, Galitang Phalang Shukamukad Amrita. Because it was touched by Shukamukad, it is Amrita. And it became Dhrava. So these are secretive subject matters that are revealed by the Acharyas, by the Munayaha, right? This is not very easily understood by common people. It says Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam. He says this is Pavitra, this is the most supremely pure. Uh, Idam Uttamam, this is the highest. Uttama also means that it is beyond Tama. Uttamaha. Tama means ignorance. This is beyond ignorance. Idam Uttamam. Pratyaksha. And understand that when you try to hear the subject matter, when you try to understand the subject matter, when you try to assimilate the subject's matter, uh, Pratyaksha, right in front of your eyes, you can experience satisfaction. And that is what is being said here. Tushtuvur means satisfied. So, when the subject matter of Namabihi is understood in its confidentiality amongst the association of devotees who were all present here, then it is satisfying. Tushtuvuhu, right? Tushtuvuhu Munayaha. It was satisfying. Why? The great sages. What kind of great sages? The sages like Vyasadeva, who were headed by Vyasadeva. Great personalities were all there. They were always in happy mood. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyaksha Dharmam Susukum Kartum Avyayam. Bhagavad Gita says that this Krishna consciousness, this most confidential subject matter that is being revealed here, when it is performed, you will not only be able to see it right in front of your eyes, but you will be able to experience that it brings happiness within your heart. So here we see that Khrishtaha, all in a happy mood. They were all in a happy mood. Nobody was despondent. They were very happy in the present. So that is the nature of the Guhya Namavihi. So that we can very clearly say. But we also see in the sloka, Naham tishtami vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu va tatra tishtami narada yatra ghayanti madbhaktaha. My dear Narada, actually I do not reside in my abode. Krishna says, I am not in Vaikunta, right? Nor do I reside within the hearts of the yogis. Uh, that I don't, yoginam hridayeshuva, I am not there in the hearts of the yogis. But here in this verse, we can say that Munayaha, they were all very satisfied and Krishna was present there. They were all very happy. It looks like a bit of a contradiction here that Krishna says, I'm not in the heart of the yogis, but these munis were all happy. What is the difference? So we have to understand that the munis, if they are, even though they might be great munis, but as long as they are within the concept of Brahmavad, Mayavad, or trying to just go only until the understanding of Paramatma or the Brahma Jyoti feature of the Lord, they cannot understand. As long as they are not situated in bhakti, they will not be able to understand and relish and attract Krishna. The only thing that attracts Krishna is Nama Bihi. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Iva Kevalam. This Nama is the only one that can attract Krishna. And when it will attract Krishna even more stronger, when it is understood of its confidentiality. That is Guhya Namavihi. When we understand the confidential nature of what is this Nama, and that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu reveals, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktihi. This Nama is not just like any other name in this material world. This is Nija Sarva Shakti. This is non-different from me. This is the original personality being invested right in this name, says there is no difference between the name and the form. This we can understand. And when we realize that nature of that name, and when we chant this name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, with our pure hearts, then Krishna says, Yatra ghayanti madbhaktaha tatra tishtami narada. Oh, madbhaktaha yatra ghayanti, where they are chanting my glories, that is the place where I reside. Not in the hearts of the yogis. Pantastu koti satavatsara sampragamyo vayo ratho api manaso munipungavanam sopyasti yat pravadasimni avichinta tatve. They can travel, these munis, satavatsara sampragamyo, satavatsara. Many millions of years they are trying to sit and meditate and trying to focus and get my attraction. Very difficult for them. Avichinta tatve. But at the same time, prema anjana churita bhakti vilochanena santaha sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. Santaha, these yogis, what they are trying to do, sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam syama sundaram. They're always thinking about me. They're always chanting my names. Sadaiva hridayeshu, always within their heart, they are thinking about me. How? Yam Shama Sundaram, in my form as Shama Sundara, not as the Brahma Jyoti, the Paramatma feature, or the Virat Rupa, or the, they are not trying to, approach me in any of those methods. They are trying to understand me in my complete feature as my Bhagavan, as Purna Bhagavan, with the, the complete opulences, 6 opulences in full, right? That is what makes them very, very different. So, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati, he says. So, the persons who always bear Lord Krishna on their heart, they're very, very special. And those devotees are Santaha Sadaiva Hridayeshu, and they are able to see because they have enlightened their material senses by the Anjana of Prema, of love. And that is what attracts me. Now, moving on to the purport. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada in the first line says, the devotees of the Lord are always in the heart of the Lord, and the Lord is always in the hearts of the devotees. Right? This we know, even in the song that we were singing today, this beautiful song by Srila Narottam Das Thakur, he says, Tomara hrudaye sada Govinda Vishram. O Vaishnav Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur sings, Tomara hrudaye, in your heart sada Govinda Vishram. Govinda is always, residing in your heart. That is what we see here. Govinda Kohena Mora Vaishnava Paran, right? Uh, these Vaishnavas, so great that they are always thinking about Krishna, and Krishna is always thinking about the devotees. This is the beautiful competition between the devotees and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, how is Krishna thinking always about his devotees? Right? He is always wanting to, he says, Akamaha sarva kamo va moksha kama udharati, tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. Uh, and this devotion at some point in time to has to become haituki apratihata without any motivation. Right? He says, don't keep any desires. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate. He says, ananyaha, no other desire other than me, is what Krishna is saying, but still he is wanting to fulfill our desires, right? So when we become desireless, in terms of our material attraction, we become desirous of serving Krishna, then Krishna takes care of everything else automatically. So we don't have to look for, other things. If we, like, for example, we are a child in the house, and then if we behave nicely, study nicely, we take care of our studies and we take care of everything, then there is no question of going and asking our parents, right? Oh, will you take care of me? Will you give me food and breakfast today? Will you give me lunch today, mother? Will you give me dinner today? Will you buy me a nice dress? This birthday will we celebrate? Those things won't come up, right? If we don't do those things properly, then sometimes our parents question, oh, I'm doing so much for you. You are not doing anything that you're supposed to be doing as my child. Why is that? That question comes, right? So it is an exchange, right? So similarly, when we simply satisfy Krishna, atapumbid vijashreshta varnashrama vibhagasaha swanustitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. If we satisfy the root, which is Hari, who is the cause of all causes, sarva karana karanam, then automatically the branches and everything automatically become satisfied. So similarly, if we take care of satisfying Krishna, Krishna takes care of satisfying everybody. Is it because he want to just reciprocate? Is it some kind of a merchandise that, oh, we satisfy him and then he satisfies us? No, he does not need our satisfaction. I mean, he does not need for us to give him satisfaction. He is Atmarama. He is self-satisfied, but he just loves the exchange of relationship, the exchange of love between his devotee and himself. He loves. How? We see this in this incident. We see this very beautiful and famous picture where Krishna is carrying the wheel from a broken chariot, and then he is going against Bhishma Deva. Duryodhana was very unhappy with Bhishma. Uh, why was he unhappy with? That Bhishma Deva was not fighting the battle with full heart. He was half-heartedly fighting the battle, right? He was not very keen on killing the Pandavas because he was very fond of the Pandavas. So Duryodhana was really, blasting at Bhishma, saying that, you're not just doing your role properly, you know. And then Bhishma Deva became very angry with Duryodhana, and he promised to him, see here, I'm going to keep these 5 arrows separately. These 5 arrows tomorrow will kill the Pandavas. This is my word. Bhishma Deva gave this word, right? Duryodhana said, okay, see, I got what I wanted. So he picked up the arrows and he said, okay, before anything else happens, I will take these arrows and I will preserve them. And when we get to the battle, I will hand them over to you, is what Duryodhana said. Now, Krishna is in the heart of everybody. Sarvasta chaham hriddhi sannivishto matha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So he called for Arjuna. He said, oh Arjuna, time has come for you. My dear friend, what is the time? Oh, you remember Duryodhana had given a word to you that he will keep a promise for you, and he owes you something. You should go and ask him. This is the time for you. What do you mean, Krishna? At this point in time, the battle, is this the time for me to go and ask? Yes, this is absolutely the time. No more delay. Go right to him. He has 5 arrows that are going to kill all 5 of you. That is sitting with him. Those are the ones that Bhishma Dev gave. Tomorrow is the end of you. Now, upon my order, go and get those arrows as the benediction that he was supposed to give you. So he went there and asked for whatever was due for him, whatever Duryodhana owed. And Duryodhana was a man of word, right? He gave the arrows. Yes, I did give you a word. But he was not heartfully giving it. He knew that this was a trick by Krishna, but unfortunately, he had to give up, so he gave. So he gave this. The next day, Bhishma Deva was extremely unhappy and he was very, very angry at Duryodhana. I gave you one opportunity. You wanted me to kill the Pandavas. I was ready to. I even gave you the arrows which are going to specifically kill the Pandavas. And you just gave it away? What kind of a fool are you? And then Bhishma Deva, with enough heart, and he knew, how is it even possible to kill, the Pandavas when they are specially protected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself? There is this Bengali saying, Rake Krishna Mare Krishna Rake ke. If Krishna wants to protect somebody, is it even possible to kill them? Uh, I gave a word to Duryodhana that these 5 arrows will kill Pandavas, but they are protected by the Supreme Lord himself. See how Krishna protects them. So he was enjoying the nature of the Supreme Lord as to how the Lord is protecting his devotees. At the same time, he was angry with Duryodhana. But nevertheless, next day when he went into the battle, he fought fiercely. Even without those 5 arrows, I'm going to kill. And he was just, showering a rain of arrows against the Pandavas and especially Arjuna. And Krishna had to take a lot of those arrows, and he, got hit by the arrows, bleeding in his face and his, chest and his hands. And, there are blood coming out from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even today, if you go to, this beautiful temple called Parthasarathi Temple in Chennai, along the beach in Triplicane, you can see that, there are the marks of the arrow, on the Lord, on the deity of the Lord, right? In the Triplicane temple, he's called Parthasarathi, as the charioteer of Arjuna. You can see those marks are there. So Krishna was ready to take. But Krishna had given a promise that he would not take any weapon, right? But the situation was so bad that if Arjuna had to be protected, there was something that he had to do to stop Bhishma Deva. So he picked up that beautiful chariot that we see in the picture, and then he went against Bhishma Deva. And he went with so much rage that is, beautifully it is being described by Vyasadeva, that when he was doing so, his upper garment even slipped away from him. He didn't even notice that. And he was going with so much rage against Bhishma. And Bhishma Deva, when he was looking at that beautiful darshan of the Lord, he was so very happy. Oh, my dear Lord, please come. What else is this body for? What am I for? I want to offer myself to you. And he was ready to offer himself. And he was enjoying within himself, oh, Krishna, you said that you will not pick up a weapon, and I made you pick up a weapon. How wonderful are you? And Bhishma Deva was not happy that he made Krishna break his promise. What he was happy that how Krishna was willing to break his promise for his devotee, for protecting his devotee. And that is how much Krishna loves his devotees. So he says here, to fulfill my desire, the Lord sacrificed his own promise. To fulfill whose desire? Bhishma Deva's desire. The Lord sacrificed his own promise. After getting down from his chariot, he picked up a broken chariot wheel and rushed at me just like a lion attacks an elephant, right? This is a very beautiful story that explains as to how Krishna was wanting to protect Arjuna. He was wanting to protect Bhishma Deva. He was ready to even give up his own vow. So whatever happens, he says that I will protect my devotee. So he says, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktya pranashyati. My devotee never perishes. I might break my promise, oh Arjuna, but you declare, because you have seen that I broke my promise for you, even though I said I will not pick up a weapon against Bhishma Deva. Now you go and declare it. My devotee never perishes, right? So we saw that Tomara Hridaye Sada Govinda, your heart is always the resting place of Lord Govinda. Lord Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are in my heart. That is the beautiful nature of the devotee and Krishna's relationship. There's also this wonderful pastime here in from Ramayana. Uh, Rama has been banished to the forest. We probably have another 10 minutes. I'll try and see how much we can cover, but yeah, within the limitation of the time, we will try and see how much ever we can. So we see this wonderful incident in that happened in Chitrakuta, right? So there's a whole range of mountains where Rama was banished to the forest. Bharata had not known about the whole incident that is happening, where the whole interaction between Kaikeyi and Dasharatha, and Rama being asked to go to the forest, and then he is banished to the forest, and Bharata is being called for by Vashishta Muni back from his grandfather's place, maternal grandfather's place. He comes back and he realizes all of this had happened. In fact, his father had passed away, and he is completely devastated. With that mood of devastation, immediately he calls on Sumantara. He brings everybody together, the whole army and everybody, and he says, "Let's go and find out where Lord Rama, Lakshmana, and my mother Sita is." He goes there. He's trying to find everywhere. He's trying to find trails from the rishis. Finally, he reaches to the ashram of Bharadwaja Muni. And Bharadwaja Muni said, the last that we met, with that most wonderful personality was a few, weeks back. And, Lord Rama said, he's going to travel across and he's going to be somewhere around the Chitrakuta mountains. So that is where he should be. Immediately, Bharata, without any wasting any time, collected the army and then started to walk towards that. And then he getting closer and closer, he stops the army. He said, "Let me go and find out, because I see that far from here within my vision, I can see that there is some smoke coming in there. In such a dense forest, if there is smoke coming in, there should be the presence of a great sage, or most likely it is my big brother, Lord Ramachandra, who's there performing some sacrifice. So I need to go there, right?" So he said, "Without disturbing the serenity of the place, let me go and find out." And the whole army would march in slowly. And when the whole army is marching in slowly, that's the time when they are settling down in Chitrakuta, and Lord Ramchandra is explaining the whole beauty of, describing the beauty of Chitrakuta, and he is taking Mother Sita on a tour of Chitrakuta, showing everything so beautifully. And then suddenly he realizes that he could hear some sound, and some very strong sound coming in from there. Immediately calls Lakshmana, and he says, "I can hear something, from this side. Can you please check it out, what is going on the other side? That, it looks like an army coming in. Or is it, why are the beasts running hither and thither? It should be some wild animal coming in here, or it should be somebody who is disturbing. That's why they are running hither and thither. Why don't you just find out?" So Bharata immediately Lakshmana climbs immediately on top of a shala tree, and he is looking from far. What's going on? What is coming towards? As soon as he sees there, he sees that there is a whole sena that is coming his side. Elephants, horses, everybody marching like a huge war going to happen, right? And then he gets down. As soon as he gets down, he tells Lord Ramachandra, his brother, "Oh, my dear brother, pick up your bow and arrow. Please put off the fire, Mother Sita. We need to be ready for war." And Lord Ram is asking Lakshmana, "Oh, what is wrong, Lakshmana? Who did you see? Why are you in so much anger? What is going on? Can you please explain to me?" "Oh, what else should I explain, my dear brother? Right? Who else could it be? It's none other than Bharata. It should be Bharata, because I'm sure he is coming, because as soon as he came back home, he would have realized that his mother has banished us to the forest, and he has claimed the kingdom that he was always looking for, and now he does not want us to be in peace even in the forest. So he has come with his army wanting to destroy us, so that he can enjoy the whole kingdom undisturbed without anybody challenging him, right? That I will not leave, my dear brother. As long as I live, I will ensure that this Bharata is taken to task. I will kill him, and I will put you back as the king of Ayodhya." I know he is in a complete rage, and Lord Ram could not understand what is going on. "Lakshmana, with you, has Bharata ever acted with you in such a way that you are speaking such harsh words against Bharata? You must not speak any harsh or unpleasant words against Bharata. If you do, they will be deemed to be directed against me." Valmiki says in the 97th chapter, 15th verse, he says, "This will be as good as directing it to me," he says. And in fact, after hearing all this, there's a whole beautiful conversation in Ramayana. And then finally he says, if you're saying all these words that you want to kill Bharata, and that this is the intention of Bharata, and he wants to, do all of these things, oh, it should be only for the sake of the kingdom. It looks like suddenly you have become interested in the kingdom. Then, even then, don't worry, my dear Lakshmana. When Bharata is here, I will ask him that when I see him to offer this kingdom to you, and he will not refuse. Even if I ask him to give you his life, he will be ready to give you his life. So don't worry about it. But don't speak like this about Bharata. He says it will be as good as directed against me. Lakshmana is devastated, right? He could not bear hearing this from Lord Rama. He was ready to give up his own wife, whom he was very, very dear to. He was ready to give up his mother. He was ready to give up everything, the facilities of the kingdom. He was not asked to be banished, but he was wanting to go along with Lord Ram and Mother Sita to serve them eternally. How could Lord Ram speak like this? It was more worse than killing him. He felt so bad, right? This incident very clearly makes it evident, the acharyas are explaining that how the Lord is always, he cannot take an offense against his devotee. When he spoke in such words against Bharata, it's not that Lakshmana was not very dear to him. Lakshmana was more dear than his very own life, Lord Rama's life. We can see that later when he was hit by the various, weapons of Indrajit and so on. But he could not stand that anybody speak against Bharata, who was such a wonderful devotee. Because, you know, Rama would always think about Bharata. Every single day away from Ayodhya, he would only speak about Bharata, how great a personality that he was. And in fact, more than missing Ayodhya, Rama was missing Bharata, being banished to the forest. That he was expressing, right? We also see that in a later incident, when Hanuman and Bharata meet, when Hanuman was carrying Sanjeevani mountain, he describes that wonderfully at that point in time, right? So from this incident we can understand as to how the Lord loves his devotees dearly with their hearts, and how the devotees are always thinking about him. That Bharata was thinking always about Lord Rama. uh, and Lakshmana himself, even though he was angry, he was always thinking about Lord Rama, how to instill Rama in Ayodhya. He was not thinking that he wanted to be in that position. So that is the nature of the devotees, the transcendental competition that happens between devotees to keep Krishna within their heart. Further in the purport, Srila Prabhupada speaks about the sweet relationship between the Lord and his devotees. The devotees always see him within themselves, and the Lord also, although he has nothing to do and nothing to aspire to, is always busy in attending to the welfare of his devotees. There are so many, many, many incidents, from our acharyas, from the scriptures, that we can discuss on this topic. And let me pick up just one. Um, Sudarshan Prabhu, the time is 11:28. I might run over by about 10 or 15 minutes. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, Prabhu.
Shivaguna Prabhu, sorry.
Yes, Prabhu.
Just referring to topic. So, in this context, we see this most wonderful interaction between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Kolavecha Sridhara. One day, the Lord went to Sridhara's place and asked him why he was so poor. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is arguing with Sridhara. Sridhara Pandit, also as he was called, was very fondly called as Kolavecha Sridhara, and asked him why he was so poor. You're worshipping the husband of goddess of fortune. You're worshipping Lord Vishnu. You're worshipping the Ganges. You're worshipping Lakshmi Devi. And yet, he never had enough money for food or clothing, and his house was dilapidated. You were in such a very bad position that when it rains, your whole house and hut is just dripping with water everywhere. You cannot even maintain yourself. On the other hand, those who worship the bloodthirsty Kali always seem to have an abundance of material worth. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teasing Kolavechara Sridhara. We all understand every day later what Kolavechar Sridhar was doing is Kolavechar Sridhar was living in a place, if you had been to Sridhar Mayapur, just near the Chandkasi Samadhi, there is a piece of land there which is called as the Sridhara Pandit Angan. That is a place originally where there was a very big banana, garden there, in a whole field of banana trees there. The business of Sridhara was, he was a nice Brahmana, but he maintained himself by just selling whatever is the produce that came of that banana trees. He would sell the banana stem, the banana bark. He would sell the banana leaves, the bananas, the banana flower, everything that he would sell. And he was sometimes compared to King Yudhishthira. Why? Because he was a very, very honest person. He would not ask for one dime more than what he want, what that banana was worth for. So whatever is the lowest that he could ask for, that is what he would ask for in all genuinity, and he would never have unfair prices on his products. So all the residents of Sridhar Mayapur were very, very happy to come to Kolavecha Sridhara. They would happily take all his produce and then happily enjoy it. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not seem to like it. So he went there once and he challenged Sridhara that you are living in such a very poor condition. This is because of your whole, concept of being fair and, worshipping Mother Lakshmi and the goddess, the god, the husband of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi. Uh, you should be worshipping Kali. And he was teasing him like that, just to test the faith of Kolavechara Sridhara. And then further, every single day, the Lord would go there and he would argue with him for 1 to 1.5 hour, just bargaining on the banana. Kolavechara Sridhara would give him a price, and he would ask for half the price. And he would argue, negotiate, argue, and then he would go on happening for about 1.5 hour. And then finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not even pay a single rupee, and then he would take away the bananas and go. That Kolavecha Sridhar sometimes just gives it up, and then sometimes he would just pull it out of his hands, forcefully, and then say, "No, I don't want to do business with you. Please get away from here," like that. And then Kolavechara, whatever he got, he used to use half of his fortune for worshipping Ganges, and then he was maintaining himself in a very simple way. But he never compromised on his his spirituality. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. He would come, he would chat with him for 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours, and then it increased and increased and increased. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the place of Srivas Thakur and Advaita Acharya, when he showed, the beautiful, in the Srivas Angan, he was showing the Mahaprakash Leela. He called for, please go and bring Kolavecha here, right? And at that point in time, he showed his beautiful form as Krishna and Balaram, and the various forms that he was showing is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was non different. And then he offered, "Oh, Kolavecha, I'm very, very pleased of your devotion. What is that I can give you? I will give you all the Ashtasiddhis." Kolavecha said, "No, my dear Lord, that is not what I want. I don't need anything. I'm very, very, very happy with what I am currently. I'm happy selling my bananas and making my worship very happily in the banks of Ganges." So, "No, no, no, Kolavecha, you should ask for something. I am here to offer you something very, very dear. So please ask me for something." And this whole conversation is going on. Finally, Kolavecha says, "Oh, my dear Lord, there's only one request, desire that I have with you. And that is a benediction if you can give me." "What is that benediction?" "Oh, I want that Brahmana who comes to me and argues with me every single day for 1 to 1.5 hour, and just for that one, reap of banana, and he would not even sometimes pay me. I want that eternally to be happening in my life so that I can always have that conversation with that wonderful Brahmana. That is the only association that I need ever in my life." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very pleased with him, gave him that benediction and gave him Krishna Prema. He was already such a wonderful devotee and gave him. So here, this incident says very clearly, uh, if you see this from the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, "For the ordinary living beings, the law of nature is there for all actions and reactions. But he is always anxious to put his devotees on the right path. The devotees, therefore, are under the direct care of the Lord." And then further he says, uh, the Lord also puts himself, the Lord also voluntarily puts himself under the care of his devotees only. So how we can see that, from this whole beautiful pastime of Kolavechara Sridhara, that Sridhara was just practicing himself separately, but how he himself voluntarily went there to give him so much mercy, gave him the Mahaprakash Darshan, gave him the benediction of Krishna Prema eternally for him to serve in Navadvipa, right? So this is the beautiful nature of, the Supreme Lord, right? And then we have, so I'll probably try and cover just one more, to cover the purport. And then, most of these stories that But just that I wanted to try and see as to how, what is the most wonderful nature of of the Supreme Lord and his devotees in terms of their interactions. And then further in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, for the ordinary living beings, the law of nature is there for all actions and reactions. So for the normal living entities, uh, it's not that Krishna is very partial with them. Krishna is Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. He says, Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the Maheshwara of all the lokas. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam. Not only to human beings, not only to animals. He is friend of everybody. But he says he is very, very dear to his devotees. Right? The ones who have turned their faces away from Krishna, they are taken care by their actions and reactions. Yashtu Indragopam Atavendram Aho Swakarma. Their karma takes care of themselves. And what happens? Bhanda Anurupa Falabhajanam. As a result of their karmic activities, they get result, phala. And Falabhajanam Atanoti, as a result of that, Bhanda Anurupa, they get different bodies. Right? So that is taken care of by his external agency. But for his devotees, he is always anxious to put his devotees on the right path. And we see that when Gopakumara, we all know the story of the Gopakumara from Bruhat Bhagavatamrita by Srila Sanatan Goswami. When Gopakumara enters the Goloka Vrindavan, and Krishna tells him, "Oh, Gopakumar, I was waiting for you for so long. How can you live without me for so long, O Gopakumar? But when you took this birth, I knew in this lifetime you would come to me." So Krishna is so anxious that he does not want us to struggle in this material world. He is always anxious to bring us back home, back to Godhead, and have this loving eternal relationship with us, because that is our nature, right? So this incident very clearly brings about how Krishna is always looking for and anxious about his devotees. And we see here this month, how can we go without speaking about the Damodar Leela? So I'll probably we have another 2 minutes, 3 minutes as an extension. So I'll try and touch upon some topics of this beautiful relationship between
Hare Krishna
devotees.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Shivana Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Prabhuji, we may offer how much ever time Prabhu wants, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu. Yeah. Fine, Prabhu. You can take your time, Prabhu. It's okay.
sure, Prabhu.
I think devotees are interested to hear more nectar from you.
Sure, Prabhu. Just
Hare
give me
Krishna.
one moment. I'll be right back.
Yep.
Hare Krishna, I'm back. So here, thank you very much, Prabhu, for the extended time. I know it's Saturday. Many people in Kanai Desh, Kuwait, you're all working. Some of you might be attending these classes from your workplaces, and you might have just allocated time. But this is such a nectarian topic, and I wanted to just touch upon, the beautiful exchange of love that was happening in this whole incident of this Damodar month, the Damodar Leela. We see a lot of background and exchange of devotees, how Krishna cares for his devotees and how the devotees care for him. It's explained saying that every day the gopis, they would just pass by Krishna's house when he was a very little baby. uh, they will see if there was an opportunity when Yashoda Maya would carry Krishna out, and if they could have just a quick darshan of Krishna, that beautiful bluish blackish boy, like the color of the rain cloud. And then they would be waiting, and when he would grow, and they would wait for him to grow, for him to walk, and for him to come to their houses, those, so that they could feed him. So every single day they would just be waiting to prepare their houses if Krishna would come there. So they would actually make arrangements in such a way that Krishna would come there, and he would steal from their houses. That was actually the intention of the gopis, every day in and day out. Every single day as they get up in the morning, they would even forget about taking care of their own children. They would simply take care of Krishna. That, oh, if I make such arrangements, if I make good butter today, maybe Krishna would come to my house and taste that butter. And if he tastes that butter once, then he will come again and again to my house. And when he comes here, I will be able to have his darshan. I will be able to interact with him. And when I do that, he will always come along with his friends, and my son will automatically be taken care. And here we understand that when we take care of Krishna, when we please Krishna, some Siddhir Haritoshanam, then automatically everybody else is taken care. So when they took care of Krishna, all his family was automatically taken care. But when Krishna is there, everything is automatically taken care. So they would do this day in and day out. But nevertheless, after Krishna comes and steals, what would they do? They would go to Mother Yashoda and complain to her. What is this complaining? We are talking about Gokula, Goloka, the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. Can anybody complain about Krishna? Do they have a place even there if they complain about Krishna? That is the transcendental nature of the complaint. Their complaining is they just wanted to narrate the most wonderful pastimes of Krishna that they had in their house to Yashoda Maya. Yashoda Maya would relish those complaints. In fact, they were just telling Yashoda Maya that, oh, Yashoda Maya, you are very, very unfortunate. You know what? Krishna, we are so fortunate that Krishna would come to our house and he would steal everything from our house. Have you ever had Krishna steal in your house? Like what he has done in our houses? How he breaks everything, how he lets the calves loose, how he shares the butter with the monkeys? You don't have that fortune. We are more fortunate than you. And they used to tease Yashoda Maya. And Mother Yashoda was always thinking, oh, everybody is enjoying so much. I also want to enjoy this wonderful pastime of the Lord. And that day she decided that she wanted to churn the butter herself. And she wanted to make it something more tasty that Krishna would have that butter. And when Krishna was having the milk and she left him to go and attend to the milk in the stove, uh, uh, she actually intended that Krishna would go and steal something. So there was a whole opportunity created by Krishna, that there was an opportunity for Krishna to steal butter right in the house of Yashoda Maya. So she created that opportunity, or rather Krishna created that opportunity for Yashoda Maya, so that Yashoda Maya could enjoy that wonderful pastime in her house, because she desired so for a moment. When the gopis were all complaining, why is Krishna not stealing butter? Maybe my butter is not so better. So Krishna made this arrangement. So Krishna, the devotees are all trying to make arrangements so that Krishna would come and have his wonderful pastimes in their house. Apparently they are complaining, but they are enjoying the complaining. And then when Yashoda Maya desires that, oh, I want to see Krishna perform such wonderful pastimes in my place too, then he is arranging for that. So this is a whole transcendental competition that is happening between the devotees and Krishna, where he has everybody enjoy the most wonderful relationship between them. Uh, um, and just to kind of fast forward and go to this topic here, this is a wonderful pastime uh, wherein we see the Gopi Geet. Talking about the Gopi Geet is also very, very auspicious in this month of Kartik, in this month of Damodara, right? The Rasa dance was happening in Sri Vrindavan Dham. The Ras Leela was happening, and when the Ras Leela was happening, suddenly Krishna disappears from the scene. And Krishna disappears from the scene. All the gopis are looking for, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And when they're looking for Krishna, suddenly they were looking at, where is Srimati Radharani? Where is Radha? Where is Radhika? I have to look for her. And they could not find Radhika. She has also disappeared from the place. Oh, Krishna has managed to disappear from this place with Radhika. So he is a very, very, tricky boy. He has taken away Radhika separately and he is enjoying with Radhika and he has left us all here. Let's go and first find Radhika. And if we find Radhika, then we'll be able to find Krishna. So they all go there. They all try to look for Srimati Radharani. Finally, they see Radharani. And where is Radharani? She's just out in the field. She is sobbing, crying, ready to give up her life. Krishna has left her also. They're all worried, asking Radhika, oh, what is going on? We thought Krishna was with you. He's not even here. Where has he gone? Radhika could not speak a word. And she is sobbing, crying, and ready to give up her life. And then the gopis all interact and they all discuss and they see what should we do now if we have to get Krishna? We can't find him anywhere, right? And then they decide, oh, okay, what can we do? All that we can do is we can just sit here and at least think about what all things that he has been doing so far. What all cheating that he has been doing with us. Let's at least think about that. I think that's the only way that we can keep our life. Because if we don't think about it, even that little life that is left out of us will go away. right? Let's think about that. Think about him, even if we have to give up our lives, and they are thinking about Krishna. And they're singing Gopi Gita. Tava katha amritam tapta jeevanam kavi viriditam kalmasapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana Tava Katamritam Tapta Jivanam. That Kata Amrita that they were singing about the glories of Krishna, that is their Jivana. Uh, if they were not singing that Kata, then there is no Jivana for them. They will die. They will give up their lives in separation of Krishna. So they were singing this most wonderful Gopi Geet. So it's very, very auspicious to sing this Gopi Geet in this month of Damodara, Kartik month, which is very pleasing to the Lord. And when they were singing, what attracts Krishna? Sankirtana is what attracts Krishna. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yajnair Sankirtana Prayer. He is Sankirtana Prayer. He is very dear to Sankirtana. Sankirtana is very dear to him. So when they sung this beautiful Gopi Gita, immediately Krishna had no choice. He was so attracted with the Sankirtan. Immediately he made himself present there, and they were all very happy. Actually, they were not happy. They were very angry. They turned their faces away from Krishna and said, Krishna, we don't want to look at you. Please get away from here. Especially Radhika, she doesn't want to look at you. Please get away from here. We have all given up everything and we have come here just for you at the dead of the night, giving up all mana, apamana, everything that we can, as a lady that we can carry in our lives. And you have just left us, chosen to leave us like that in the mid of the night and go away and disappear. Is this one of your trick? Is this how you think you reciprocate? They were very angry with them. And then Krishna was trying to pacify. None of them would heed. And then he slowly went up to the gopis, the elderly gopis, the senior gopis, Lalita, Vishaka. And then he's trying to tell them, oh, please understand. No, we don't want to understand. We understand. We have seen people. There are people who reciprocate. That is, if you show them love, they show, they reciprocate their love. Sometimes you show their love, they don't reciprocate. That is also fine. Right? But what is the category in which you are? You are in the category where we show our love to you. Not only that you don't reciprocate the love, not only that you ignore our love, but you just, put us down like that and just vanish from that place. Is this how you treat? Is this how you relate with your devotees? Is this how you relate with your friends? Is this how you relate with us? So they're all asking this question. And Krishna is standing there stunned. He doesn't know what to say. He couldn't argue with the gopis. The best of the, the one in logic, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, they're the best in the logic. He could not argue with the gopis. They were very, very simple ladies, not very learned. They were not learned in the Vedic scriptures. He could not argue with them. Then he nicely goes and he tells the gopis, oh, my dear gopis, it is not my fault. It is actually your fault. Oh, Krishna, you're so stubborn that you want to tell us that after leaving us in the dead of the night that it is our fault and it is not your fault. Now, what is the argument that you have? You think you can argue us now? He says, yes, it is actually your fault. Now, what did you want? You wanted always that you wanted my loving devotion, prema, right? You always wanted that most mellowful relationship with me where you can experience the prema of my relationship. Now, isn't that what I have given to you? What is that you have given? All that you have given is just leave us like this and go. Okay, I left you like that and went. What had happened to you? You were, what could we do? We were ready to give up our life, but we were singing just to keep our life. That's maybe you will come back. So we were singing your glories. So by singing my glories, now I have come back, right? So I have given you the bliss of prema by the Sankirtana. So he establishes Sankirtana as the only way by which we can keep our lives and how we can relate with the Lord there. He also establishes that the relationship with the gopis is so great and wonderful through this particular incident that I will never be able to repay you of what you have given to me. That is coming out in the wonderful verse here in the 10:30 to 22. Na pharaye aham niravadya samyujam swasadu krityam vibudhayusha pivaha ya ma bhajan durjara gheja shrinkalaha Sramvrishcha tadvaha pratiyatu sadhuna. I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. He says, I can, basically what he says is, within a lifetime of Brahma means not only in this lifetime, but many, many lifetimes to come, I will never be able to pay my debt for the service that you have done. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. So here he establishes the glorious deeds of the devotees as to how the Lord always thinks about the benefit, the welfare of the devotee. Suhrut Satam, it is explained. He is the most well-wisher of the devotees. That it is their glories themselves which is the greatest, and Krishna can never repay the devotion that the devotees give to him. And this is very beautifully coming out in this. There are many, many things actually in this pastime, many, many lessons to learn from this pastime. But I'm sure we'll get another opportunity to, wonderfully exchange this. Bodhayantaha parasparam tushyanti cha ramanti cha, Krishna says. So these wonderful pastimes are so wonderful to discuss in the association of devotees. Non-devotees, they cannot appreciate the subject matter. Uh, Devotees can appreciate the subject matter because they are, susukum kartumavayam. This can be understood in a blissful atmosphere. And why? Because they understand this Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam, that this is very, very confidential subject matter, and this is the king of knowledge. And once when understands the confidentiality of this great Srimad Bhagavatam, then we will be able to relish this wonderful relationship with the Supreme Lord. So my apologies for taking too long. Thank you for your time, and I'll stop here. If there are maybe one or two questions, otherwise I rest here, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhupayevacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta kodi Vaishnava vrinda ki jai. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaved Gaur Bhakta vrinda ki jai. Yathai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo.
Hari Hari Bo.
Thank you, Sivaguna Krishna Prabhu, for this wonderful opportunity to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, especially in this month. And I'm very grateful and thankful, and my Dandot Pranams to all the Kanaya Desh devotees.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Actually, we have to thank you.
Especially Manibhushan Prabhu. I had the good fortune of meeting Manibhushan Prabhu. Just before this lockdown, I was going to set up a business in Kuwait. And, I met with him, and he on the same day arranged for a nice opportunity to be with the satsanga of some Kanaya Desh devotees. Very, very wonderful devotees there. And then I met him, just twice that I met him. But he has always been grateful to share, many, many such activities happening in Kanaya Desh, some of these being telecasted also. So very, very thankful for the association of the devotees, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Actually, we have to express our thanks because it was such a nectarian class, Kramritam. We are hearing from you, actually. We released it, actually. We do not want to end this session. That's what everyone, I think, is feeling now. It was the slides are very beautifully designed. I think basically, Prabhu, you are, I think, you are in the design field, or because it was very beautifully designed, the slides, the content, and very nicely presented with very with the depth of devotion. And I think it had a great impact on whoever was hearing this class. So all glories to that for your selfless service in giving your time and enlightening us in the path of bhakti, Krishna consciousness, in this auspicious month, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. So, devotees, if you would like to have any questions on the subject matter discussed, maybe you can unmute your mic and ask them.
I know it is quite late, and
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Sudarshan Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. I hope you have time.
Yes, I have plenty of time, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Dandot Pranam, Prabhu. Thank you very much for the flow of nectar. We all are really so absorbed in that, especially in this month of Damodar Leela. Prabhuji, in the concluding part, you told that glorious deeds are the compensation.
Yes, Prabhu.
So means the most glorious deed is devotional service.
Yes.
if somebody is getting an opportunity to do more or and services, naturally that means Lord's blessing is there on that person. We can
Yes.
understand in that way, no?
Absolutely. So that is the point. Very nicely brought about, Sudarshan Prabhu. So the point there is the glorious deeds means the devotional, service that we do, or in fact, what is the greatest, bank balance that we can carry. Neha vikrama nasosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. He says that even small, activity that we do, swalpam apyasya, su alpam. Alpam means itself very, very small. Su alpam means even the minutest of what we can do in devotional deed, the glorious deeds that we can do. I mean, saving us from the greatest danger is nothing, but it gives us the supreme association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? And what Krishna says, by doing that, I become indebted to you. And he says that I cannot even pay that back in one lifetime of Brahma, what to speak of our own lifetime. In one lifetime of Brahma, I will, we are, Tirupati Balaji is there, he is trying to pay the debt for a long, long time, right?
Kubera, no, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Kubera.
So Krishna says in the Srimad Bhagavatam that I will not be able to pay this back in a lifetime of Brahma, which means what is the beautiful nature of the the glory of devotional service. So that is very, very beautifully coming in here. So what to speak of all material activities that we do in the name of charity or whatever it is? They are, nothing. If simply one can take up to the chanting of Hare Krishna, give Srimad Bhagavatam to everybody by this wonderful institution created by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, very beautifully expanded by all his disciples. These wonderful Damodar program where we are going to every house and trying to give them this most glorious deed of performing this devotional service. This is what Krishna says I cannot repay. So why don't we invest on something that nobody can repay, rather than that we are just investing on things which are of no worth, which we can't even carry when we leave this material world. So that is the beautiful point that is being brought about in this verse, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you
Thank
for
you very
bringing
much
it up.
for the Krishna, Prabhu. Actually, I
Thank you.
felt that because probably we have Gita and Bhagavatam classes, and we devotees of Kanaya are so blessed that we are getting association of very senior and very
We
encouraging devotees in the
ab-
lockdown period. So
absolutely
this is a
all.
blessing in disguise, and the Lord is making us to make this calamity into an opportunity. Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Corona is given, that is why Kunti Maharani is praying that please give me calamities, because whenever there are calamities, you are always present. Now that we are all in the Corona Mahamari calamity, we can see that Krishna is making his presence through the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Damodara month, Purushottam month, and so much yatra, Vrindavan yatra. When many, many devotees wanted to go directly to Vrindavan, very difficult. Oh, I cannot go for 20 days, 30 days. Now it is coming right into our house in terms of the katha, right? Tavakathamritam tapta jivanam. This is the jivana. So it's very nice, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sure, Prabhu. As you explained about that, we are the last month. We are in the last up to last month. We are in last 6 months. We are in that. We have to hear more about that one. So,
Absolutely.
Prabhu, Prabhu, given thank you, Prabhuji. We are giving a nectarian class for this the mother month. We have to hear about that one. And so Prabhu explained that one 297 15 in Ramana means how we can quote that one means how we will get the information
Oh, that is
from.
if you go to the internet, IIT Kanpur has made a whole Valmiki Ramayan.
Uh-huh,
The Sanskrit text is there, and they
uh,
have published the whole verse by verse. The Sanskrit is there, word to word meaning is there, everything is there. And if you go
uh,
there, the whole Ramayana is there in English. Of course, if you are looking at Balakanda and Aranyakanda, which are the first two portions of the Ramayana, very recently, our wonderful god brother Vidwan Gauranga Prabhu has written those two, totally about, I think, 8 volumes of books has been published in English. This is Valmiki Ramayana, which has been given by him. So this is all there, very wonderfully described about how every single incident as beautifully described by Valmiki. So it's all there, Prabhu. So if you go to just say IITK Ramayana, you will get the link right first.
IITK Ramayana.
IITK
Prabhuji,
Ramayana. And
all the kandas,
I think
all the
now they have
six.
all the kandas. Earlier they only had up to, I think, Aranya and Ayodhya Kanda. I think now they have
Okay,
everything.
Prabhu. Yes, up to Uttarakhand. Prabhu, do you remember they have up to Uttarakhand also? Do you remember?
I think so. We can check that, Prabhu.
Okay,
I
Prabhu.
didn't observe,
Okay,
but we can.
I'll check. I'll check my time.
Sure, Prabhu.
And Prabhuji, all this translation by Mayapur team and this Kanpur team, are they
Yeah.
really word-to-word translation only, no?
You
Not
can,
independent translation.
well, you cannot absolutely take the philosophical translations from there because it was not done by
Ah,
any of
understood.
our devotees.
Devotees. Yes, yes,
But,
yes, yes. But our,
yes, Vidwan Prabhu has already analyzed all of
yes,
those things.
that
So
understood, Prabhuji. That
you
no
can
problem.
confirm from there
Yes,
saying that whether it is in line with the philosophical understanding. That is,
yes,
but the normal incidents, what happened in terms of the katha, we can always read from there, so to understand the katha.
yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
Prabhu.
much for
Hare Krishna.
letting me
Thank you,
speak.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Also, Prabhu,
Thank
would like
you.
to ask you, like, briefly, if you can explain your journey in Krishna consciousness so that we get some kind of.
88 onwards, 88, 94, 2013, all are crucial years,
Briefly, if you
important
can tell
years.
how you came into contact with Krishna consciousness and your realizations.
By reading book or by associating with devotees?
That's a
Oh.
very long story, but
But
I
you
can
can say
say
in
it in
short.
Sankshepa. That in Sankshepa, I can say in a very short form. The thing is, what can I say? It's I came to Krishna consciousness purely by the blessings of Srila Prabhupada. My brother, his Grace Sadashivananda Das, he was in Coimbatore. He was in his university. He came in contact with Bhakti Vinod Maharaj. At that time, he was Sarvaishwarya Prabhu. He was the temple president of Coimbatore. And he was preaching, college preaching. So he came in association there and he became a full-time devotee in Coimbatore. Then he went to Trivandrum and he was preaching from Thaikad in Trivandrum for a long time. It's almost 10 years he was preaching there in Thaikad on those days. And then he introduced Krishna consciousness to us. I initially was not very interested, but when I first read one book, Path of Perfection, which I thought, okay, it was closer to me because there was, on those days, if you see the Path of Perfection book, there'll be a white background and there will be a nice park, and right in the center of the park there will be one person sitting with a pant and shirt, and he would be having a japmala and he was chanting. So I thought this sounds more like me than a saffron swami. I do not like that, somebody give up everything and go saffron, whiling away the responsibilities of home and just pretending like a sannyasi, because I didn't believe in sannyasis those days. But that was the beginning point. When I read Prabhupada's books, I was simply amazed by the first the language of Srila Prabhupada and all the wonderful things that he presented in such a wonderful way. I was even more attracted to the kirtans those days, because basically our family is more into kirtan, and this is how I got attracted. Then I had the good fortune one day when my father took me to His Holiness Banuswami Maharaj, and then I went and stayed in the temple for about 1.5 years serving Banu Maharaj. And then my journey continued to serve His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, my spiritual master. He specifically instructed me that I serve Banu Maharaj in his, in every way that I can, using my computer knowledge and little bit knowledge that I have. So this is how I'm here in Krishna consciousness. Then I used to be in Bangalore for a few years. Now here I'm in Damodar Desh from 2017. And so this is my little journey in Krishna consciousness, all through the wonderful association of devotees, and especially His Holiness Banaswami Maharaj has been a great inspiration for me in my Krishna consciousness, in my learning, and hearing to his Bhagavatam lectures every single day is such a nectar. And His Holiness Banaswami Maharaj has actually translated more than 100 books of our Vaishnava Acharyas into English. 100 books have been translated so far. Just a few weeks back he completed the 100th book. And many more books. Srimad Bhagavatam available based on the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Sanatan Goswami, and then so many commentaries are being written, and then we have the Sandarbhas and so many. So I'm engaged in the service where we are publishing these books on Amazon. All of these books are available on Amazon. That now logistics might be an issue. So if you wish to read those books, you can always purchase them on Amazon, and then you can read. So this is my little service in Krishna consciousness that we are trying to do here as a family.
Thank you, Prabhu. It was a very inspiring journey, inspiring one. And surely we would like to hear from you. We'd like to hear from you in future also. So please give us some time. So we'll in future also. Thank you,
Certainly,
Prabhu.
Prabhu. It will be my
Hare
pleasure
Krishna.
Will
honor
thanks
to
give
take
Hare
in the
Krishna mantra
service.
3 times, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. We, on behalf of Kanyadesh devotees, we would like to express our sincerest gratitude for Prabhu for enlightening us and inspiring us in Krishna consciousness. Let us chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 3 times for Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpataribhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha pitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo namaha. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, तंत्रा श्रीमद भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, जय हरिगोपाल प्रभु की जय. हरे कृष्ण.
Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Kanaidesh Bhaktivinoda ki jai, His
All glories
Grace
to Guru
Manibhushan
Maharaj.
Prabhu ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Siva
Hare
Guna,
Hare.
Krishna Prabhu, and all the wonderful devotees in Kanaidesh. My Dandavad pranams to all of you. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. See you again, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Very soon we will make an arrangement.
Sure,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Certainly.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. So we'll end the session now. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So devotees, evening there will be a class on virtual Brajmandal Yatra at
6:30,
evening
Prabhu.
6:30. Yes, you are all requested to participate and get the mercy of the Lord on this auspicious month of
Surely,
Damodar.
Prabhu. Thank you for reminding, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So thank you all for devotees for coming in and giving your time and participating in this wonderful Shravan.
Prabhuji, hope you not got, you didn't get late, no, Prabhu? Any other appointment, something was there?
I don't know, Prabhu. It's a
Okay,
nothing important, Prabhu.
Because Prabhu's enthusiasm was so much that he wanted to speak more and more. That is why I interrupted. Sorry for
Yes.
that.
No, Prabhu.
No, what I thought that if at all somewhere you are busy or some other appointment, then I thought we will, if devotees, then we will continue not to discourage him. Because
No, Prabhu. It was
that was only
absolutely,
my
it
point.
was an amazing class with a nice presentation. So it was a really, I think, very inspiring for everyone.
Yes.
So devotees, we'd like to thank everyone, Prabhu. So we'll again meet evening 6:30 p.m. online.
So 6:25 we will all meet.
Yeah. Thank you all, Prabhu. Thank you, Sudarshan Prabhu, and all the
Thank you so
devotees.
much for coordinating.
Hare,
Thank you for
Hare Krishna.
hosting.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So I will end the session, Prabhu. No?
Yes, sure, Prabhu. I hope that we will be able to continue this 9:30 session as long as possible. With the blessing
by
of
Krishna's
Vaishnavas,
mercy,
Acharyas, and
Prabhupada's
Vesti.
mercy,
Yes,
Guru Maharaj mercy, it will happen, Prabhu.
yes, thank you.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
YouTube is there. YouTube is there.
Yeah, I will